All right, good news, everybody. I think I figured out my audio problems, and it's been a busy week around here with the kids being off of school. Busy week in the NBA, so let's get you ready for Game Week 19. All right, with Houston a little beat up, Jock Landale's a guy who might get a couple more minutes this weekend. Just one game at home against Philly. Dylan Brooks and Jabari Smith are already both ruled out. Last two games for Jock Landale, he's gotten in the rotation a little bit, 12 minutes and 15 minutes. Not putting up a ton of points, but somebody to definitely consider if you're looking for a really low L10. He's a 4 right now. Another guy worth watching right now, I think, is Jordan McLaughlin in Minnesota. I'm not sure he's going to break their rotation, but he did play a lot for them last year. I think they like him. He's been hurt most of the year. Came back. He's been in 11 games, but really hasn't played much. 1.12 points per minute is really good, so in limited action, he has been good. 4 for an L10, $1.42 for his lowest price right now. And he did play 14 minutes last game. It was a game they weren't really in contention for, so I don't know if you can take a lot out of that, but 17 points. If you can get that out of a 4, that's really good. He may stick in the rotation a little bit. We'll have to see how it goes this weekend. One last guy in this bottom tier I'm keeping an eye on here is Chris Duarte out in Sacramento. They're pretty healthy right now. He's appeared in 26 games, 12 minutes a game so far this year. His minutes are kind of down from that level. Not super productive, but a 5 for an L10 is so low. I'd say he's in the rotation a little bit, barely, maybe would be a better term. With Monk out, he played 18 minutes the other day, but usually he's in less than 10 category. 5 is just really low. He doesn't need a whole lot of minutes to do something for you. They've got 2 games this weekend, one at Atlanta, one at Memphis, so one easy one tough one. I'm going to start with Taj Gibson in New York. He's played a couple games since the Mitchell Robinson injury happened. 13 to 15 minutes most nights. I think it could increase a little bit. They really don't want to play Hartenstein 35 minutes a night. 6 L10's really low, $1.89 for a price. Looking at his game logs, he already had one game where he scored 17, so he's capable of doing a little something for you at least. Well, the unfortunate injuries in Houston have really raised the value of Jayshawn Tate. We talked about him last week when he was under $2. Now he's $4.71. He's a 7 L10, got 24 minutes last game with Jabari Smith going out. I think he stays in that range of 20 to 25 minutes, at least for Friday. And then if we get into next week, Houston has 2 good matchups. They have Detroit and Brooklyn, both at home, 2 bottom 10 defenses. Even if one of those 2 guys comes back, I think he sticks in that rotation in that 20 to 25 minute range. And if so, he's certainly capable of 15 to 20 to 25 points. And with an L10 of 7, that's a great guy to have. There are 2 guys in Sacramento vying for the backup center minutes. JaVale McGee's been playing more. Alex Len has been out for quite a while. Just came back. Was available on the 23rd, did not play, and then last game played just 2 minutes. McGee's been getting most of the backup center run, but not a whole lot of minutes, and now it's kind of split. Either of them would be decent attempts this week. Len is a 7. McGee is an 8. They're about the same price, both $2 or under. I would say they're both offense first guys. Len's got a 1.26 point per minute average, and McGee's over a point a minute at 1.08. Might want to see how it shakes out first, but if you want to take a shot at this and need a 7 or an 8, you could do worse here. Doug McDermott in San Antonio is a guy I really almost never have any interest in, but his L10 has fallen so much that he's under 10 now, 9 L10. He plays almost every night, 15 minutes a night on average, although more recently he's been less than that. But he's not far removed from games where he was playing 20 minutes. He's scored over 20 multiple times this year. If his 3-point shot's fallen, he can get you some points. As I was hoping when we recorded last video, Alec Burks did make it back into heavy rotation last game, played 25 minutes. He is one of their more effective players. I think he's going to continue to get some run while they try to work out a trade for him. Isaiah Stewart's out. He's playing tonight in Boston again. We'll see how he does tonight. But I think he's going to get some minutes going forward. He's just too low at 10, and his price is still low at $2.13. So despite all the injuries in Cleveland, Jordan Yang's minutes are very static. 21-3, 22-2 on the season, so nothing's really moving for him. He finally had his big game, scored 29 the other night. I think he's capable of that or even a little bit more if he's really hot. L10 keeps falling. The 28 obviously bumps it up a little bit, but as we take these 18s off, he's going to get even lower for a stretch. So I think he's a great guy to have this week and going forward. All right, I know we've been talking a lot about Houston, but with those injuries, Aaron Holiday becomes interesting again. The 44-2 he put up earlier in the year comes off the books. He's down back in that range where he's useful again. I think he's at 13 this week, but he's going to be falling to 11 or 12. 24 and 25 minutes the last 2 nights. I think that continues, if not a little bit more. This guy's a good shooter from 3 when he gets it going. He's certainly capable, as you saw, the 44, the 34. He's put up some big games this year. Definitely can beat the 12 or 13 or whatever he is this week. Definitely one to consider. Price is still good at $1.89. Kenrich Williams in OKC is a guy I really like. 13 for an L10 right now. He's beating that on the year, and that's at 15 minutes a night. More recently, he's been up near 20. He's played 20 last game, 22 2 games ago. He's kind of in that 15 to 20 range. He can certainly get you some points if you need it. 30, 19, 9, 25, 21. So he's a guy that can certainly beat his L10. Plays everywhere. He's versatile. Can do it all. Good guy to have on in your gallery to throw in when he gets low enough, and he's low enough right now. Another guy we talked about last week is Xavier Tillman. He had 30 last game. Played 27 minutes, so the minutes on the rise. He's good with Morant. We've been talking about him the last couple weeks. He's a 15 right now, so definitely worth grabbing if you got an extra $3.54 laying around. I think he can beat that pretty easily. 0.98 points per minute. So the more minutes he gets, the better. I feel like a broken record talking about these same guys every week, but Bismack Biyombo, we also talked about him last week. He put up a 27 and a 24. His L10 is currently sitting at 15, $3.10. Still too cheap for his level of production, even though he's not as productive per minute as Tillman. He is getting more minutes on an average basis, so he's a guy to consider for sure. Jalen Smith in Indiana's a guy I'm high on. I really like everybody in Indiana just based on their style of play, but 1.25 points per minute is really good. $3.31. He's kind of been mixing back into their rotation. Last game played 23 minutes, put up 31 points. Really effective. He can shoot threes. He can get you some rebounds. Big guys in Indiana are going to do well with Halliburton running the points, so he's a guy to definitely take a look at. Najee Marshall's just a guy I keep in my gallery. He's just too cheap, under $2. 0.93 points per minute. He's really effective when he's in there. He's got a role in New Orleans. He's going to keep playing minutes. Minutes are down a little bit now that they're pretty healthy, but anybody goes out, he's a guy that fills in. He's up and down in the high 30s, 30, 28, 11, 2, 5, 6. So great variance. I mean, you want these guys that are either going to give you an A or give you an F. So his L10 is going to be down to about 16. You can kind of plug and play him where necessary. And I think he will come up with some nice games for you. The price is right. All right, Dario Saric in Golden State. 1.06 points per minute. Still really good. 260, still really cheap. I think he's a valuable guy to have. 23 last game. But he can get up as high as the high 30s. He had a nice run early in the season, so I wouldn't put him away completely. His L10's down in that 19 range. He could certainly spring you one. With Nick Vucevic down in Chicago for 7 to 10 days, Alex Caruso becomes kind of interesting. He may be looking more for his offense than he normally does. Early in the year, he had a couple games, 43 and a 42. Definitely capable of it. Getting the minutes right now. He's normally a defense guy first, but if he has to score a little bit more, he may. 30 last game. Right now you're looking at $4.49. 0.93 points per minute is good, though, and if he can get his minutes up near 30, I think that's a decent play for you. Eric Gordon in Phoenix came out in the press, told the press that he wanted a bigger role, wanted to win, and they promptly played him 39 minutes. He hit 7 threes, put up 45 so rare points. That's his second best game of the year. But he's hit 40 a couple times, 50 once. L10 down in that low 20s range. And the price point's always low on this guy. He's $3.30. So if they're going to keep feeding him that many minutes, I would say he is definitely worth looking at. John Collins in Utah I want to highlight just because he's a combination of a lot of the things I look for. He's playing 30 minutes a night. He is beating his L10 slightly, but beating it. 0.92 points per minute's pretty good, and only $3.30. So he's just too cheap to be playing this much and putting up this many points. Really like Max Strus in Cleveland. Karis LeVert came through with a huge game the other night. Strus is just playing so many minutes. He's 35 a night, regardless of who's in and who's out. He can certainly score you some big numbers here and there. He's been in the 50s once, in the 40s 7 different times over the course of the season. L10's hovering in that mid-20s range. I would say he will pop for one here pretty soon. Again, they've got Washington twice coming up. All right, good luck this weekend, everybody. Hope that helps, and we will see you all back here on Monday.